had the best morning so far. I got to have a nice slow morning with Marty Griffin. Now I get to hang out with you and do the next step on the mushroom canvas. It's the perfect time. It's quiet around here, so we can hang out and create. I did water down my Mod Podge just a bit. I'm just going to start sticking some colors on. These are the papers that we made last time we hung out. If you missed hanging out last time, that video's on the playlist. It's just a little thin coat of acrylic paint on here. If you've ever done a magazine photo transfer, this is basically that. I've decided to do 3 different mushroom canvases that kind of coordinate. I don't know if you can see that, but here I just did 3 pieces and I kind of separated them. That's something I haven't tried before. I appreciate the continuity of, you know, just repeating a well-loved practice. I'm simultaneously embracing getting out of my comfort zone. So the burning question from my last video was, why did I give up my studio space? And I understand why that may seem like a weird idea. You know, our dates of potentially traveling a little more extensively is definitely a couple years out, but there are other reasons. First of all, when I moved from my retail studio to my home, that was a big downsize, and I had a pretty big space in our downstairs, and our youngest moved out. We decided it was time to do something that we had been planning to do for quite some time, and that is offer an Airbnb in our downstairs. We had some renovating to do. Okay, this is starting to transfer. All right, I want you to see this up close. You can see where the glue is grabbing that color from the newsprint. So you can see this is what is left, and you can use more of that. I'll get a close-up for you in a little bit here and show you what I mean. But I'm gonna just go ahead and pull these real quick because it is time. It's okay if some of your paper that was already down pulls up. It just adds to the texture. So the beauty of this technique is you can't control it. If you're a control freak, mixed media is probably not for you. But if you like to experiment, if you like to be surprised, if you like for things to come out a little different every time you do them, mixed media is perfect, unpredictable. All art really is unpredictable because you really can't control the outcome in most art processes. I like the way it's uneven and it's not just a blob. It's actually a little bit more of an organic form. This is the fun part, peeling this up, seeing what you get. You get what you get and you don't throw a fit. That's what I've always told my children. That's been a motto around our home. Oh, that one's a nice one too. So for the first hour that I did this process, I was skipping a whole entire step. The video is not that long. You won't see the step that I skipped until a little bit later, but I'm curious. I would love to know at what point in the video that you see the step that I skipped in the transfer process. I'm guessing you're going to see it before I do in the video. If you'll put it in the comments, I would just love to know. Back to the question at hand, which is, why did I give up my studio space? There was a move that happened because we did the Airbnb, and then the next move happened. It was trying to find some storage solutions because when we did the Airbnb, we gave up about 450 square feet of our home to the Airbnb, so we ended up having some storage issues. Then it became really important to me to have more of a gathering space, and my studio was in the gathering space that we have now. We also did a renovation up here where we tore down a big wall that opened up our living space into one space. It was once separated from the kitchen and dining area because people tend to gather in the kitchen. The overflow goes into the living room, but now we're all together in one big room. That is a beautiful thing. Our family just boomed a little bit. Both our girls, one got engaged, one started a family, and life is different. It felt right. I can still use it as an art space and an entertaining space. Now it's both, which is awesome. My storage solutions that came out of my system that I've used for years and years ended up working well for a mobile moving studio situation, which is what I have here. So it actually just kind of evolved, really, and it's been great. I wouldn't trade it for anything. I don't think I would go back, at least not in this amount of square footage. With my current situation, I'm actually quite happy with the setup that we have. This is plenty cozy during the winter months, and then when it gets warm, I want to be at the beach and I want to be kayaking. If it's not a day to go to the beach or kayak, I'm going to be out on my deck. That's where I plan on doing my creating because I love being outside. It's just makes me very happy. It's a big part of my feeling of well-being. I will say giving up my big art table was a big deal because I loved that table. I loved it. If it could have become our dining table, it would still be here. I'm rotating these. I'm getting ready to transfer to being a little more up close for you. So there's lots of factors happening here, and it is a bit of a science. The viscosity of the paint, the type of paper you use, the thickness of your glue, how long you leave it on. All these things factor into the results that you're going to get. But I want to show you up close what's happening. It's very cool. Let me come over there. Okay. So I'm going to peel this one so you can watch it up close. So if it starts, if a lot of the white, see this white is not my favorite. You know, I want to see more of this. It just hasn't clicked in my brain yet because I'm focused on the video that I watched of someone doing the painted paper as a transfer. And I've done photo transfer up to this point, so I knew all of the steps, but I had just not connected the dots that this is a transfer and all of the steps apply no matter what you're transferring, right? See, I had been doing this technique for so long and putting up with results like this and this, which are cool. There's nothing wrong with this as a texture technique. Nothing wrong with that. But look what I was missing out on. You'll see here in a minute where it clicks and I figure it out. And I am most elated because I'm finally getting the results I was looking for. But like, this doesn't bother me at all that didn't peel. I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave that and that because to me that adds to the texture. And another thing you can do is you can come back and add these colored layers. So hold on to your scraps. For now, I put them in color piles. I have my blue color pile here and my green color pile here. Moving on to one of my darker blues. I'm going to double up here where I already transferred some green and a lot of white came through. So I'm going to see if I can knock that back, that white that came through, with some blue. This is probably all said and done gonna take maybe an hour, and I'm filming this and I'm doing 3 canvases. You could spend probably as little as 20 minutes on this project, depending on how ambitious you decide to get. You could also lose yourself in it for hours if you choose to. Oh, that's nice. Look at that rich blue coming through. I love it. Look at that. Nice. See, I could leave that, but I'm actually going to peel it back. I like having the rugged, uneven edges. I like that a lot, actually. It's not something I honestly took a whole lot of time to do. The last time I did this process, I didn't take the time to, you know, tear these in fun ways that produced different results. I was still learning, and that is a beautiful thing about having a regular art practice. If you've heard me say this once, you've heard me say it 1,000 times, but everything you do informs the next thing you do. So it's a valuable thing to have a regular art practice. It's just going to feed your creativity in ways that your creativity will not be fed otherwise. I can say that with 100% confidence. Oh, I love this. Look at that. I'm going to leave that. I like that. I don't know if you can see that. Let's get you up close for that. I love the way that tore, and part of the actual other side of the paper with the words stayed down, the whole entire sheet. I love it. And you can tell me in the comments which your favorite look is that has come out of this process so far. And let me know in the comments if you're going to try this. I would love to know. So I'm actually loving this right here, the way this tore and then this came over the edge. That's just a really cool detail if you ask me. Like this white That's something I want to maybe go over again a little bit and break that up. Oh, that's a green one. And guess what? It's probably not really going to come up at this point. I'm just going to try to get that straight edge. You know me and straight edges. I need to get that straight edge uneven. Must. So that can happen if you forget your papers. No harm, no foul. I can go over it with some green. So there was nothing really wrong with skipping the step. I mean, the results are cool. That's the best thing about mixed media. The results are cool, even if you skip a step, which I had done for years. The blue didn't transfer as much, but look what happened. It pulled up some of the white and revealed more of the green, which is definitely, I'm not mad at that. I don't love the white being so prominent because I don't know, for me it gives bare canvas somehow a little bit. I don't know. So I'm gonna break some of the white up. Thanks for hanging with me as I was not getting it. You probably, in a real magazine transfer, probably use a little water like this. Yeah. See? We just learned something together. That white came right off with a little bit of water. Yeah, we're doing that. Look at that. Hello, hello. Hello, solution. I love it. So we're getting that extra backing that we didn't want off. That makes me happy. This right here. Yeah, because that's what you would do with a magazine transfer. That's how you get the paper off and leave the transfer. The person I learned this from left this whole step out. We all jump in not knowing what we're doing sometime. I'm always here for that. But see how we just learned from doing. So I think the big takeaway here is experiment, try things. Just because you've seen it done a certain way doesn't mean you have to do it that way. And this is part of the whole freedom equation that I talk about, where I say we don't need more time, we just need more freedom to create in a way that works for us, right? So this is part of that freedom of breaking out of doing things the way you were taught. Oh yeah. So look at what a difference a little water makes. I am so happy to discover this step with you. Aren't we something? Yeah. I could stop here, but I might keep going a little bit because I'm having fun. Look at that. See, that is exciting. I have to say, sometimes you watch a technique like photo transfer, honestly, and you think, why not just glue the photo down, you know? And like for me, it's like, why not just glue pieces like this down? This is why, because you wouldn't get this effect from just gluing the other pieces down. You wouldn't see the layers of the other papers showing through. This has gotten so exciting for me. I'm so glad we hung out today. Thanks for coming over and helping me to work through this. So fun, thank goodness. See, and that was past experience. If I hadn't done some photo transferring and remembered how I got the extra paper off, I wouldn't have thought to do this necessarily. Again, if I can make a case for having a regular art practice and trying new things, there it is for you. There it is for me, too. It's one of the greatest things that has come into this phase of my life, personally. I've always been an artist, but I put aside my art for many years to raise a family. That became my creative process for quite a while. Homeschooling our girls, and that's how I ended up teaching art quite a bit, because I was teaching my girls. So that often led to including some other kids in our fun. So yeah, and then I started teaching adults, and here I am hanging out with you. I didn't really come here to teach you. I'm here to hang out and share my process. So I'm going to work on for a little bit before I start adding any more color to this. I'm going to start really revealing this transfer in the way that it was meant to be enjoyed. Sometimes you just got to get in it. Beautiful. So that's a good start to our background. You know, you could just build color around the outside. I've done that before, kind of create a vignette effect. But I think these are pretty fun. So let me know what you think. If you have stayed in the video this long and discovered the third step with me, thank you so much for hanging out. Whether you get this transparency or it's more like this. Either way, it's a pretty cool textured background. So I think it's worth trying. I would love to know if you do try it. That's always exciting to me to hear. I went through the process of selecting paper for my paper stash, which is everything from scrapbook paper to wallpaper to tissue paper and handmade papers. I have lots of cool little treasures in my paper stash, as you may also have. But I made papers for my big wave canvas, and I just love the result. results. I love that I had my hands in everything that was on the canvas. I loved that each element of the finished canvas was part of a process. I had a new sense of accomplishment, I guess, by having made the papers as well. So I decided to do that for the mushroom canvas. I'll share more about that in the next video. So I'm really glad that I came back to this process for these canvases.